The Godot game engine has enacted a mass cleansing, a banning of non-woke supporters, and those who suggest that the Godot game engine, the open source Godot game engine, focus on software, are labeled as the filth of humanity and declared to be toxic pieces of beep. I can't repeat the word here because it would make me blush too much. This is an unfolding story right now. I'm going to report to you what information we have. I have reached out to obviously the Godot Foundation as well as the creator of Godot. I'm going to go through all of this right now. I've just published an article up over at the Lunduke Journal at lunduke.locals.com if you'd like to go there and read it, along with ridiculous amounts of screenshots of posts and confirmations and pictures of bannings and all sorts of stuff that's going on. I'm going to read to you what we have now, and then I have a little bit of additional discussion I'd like to follow it up with. The epidemic of discrimination and mass bannings of political undesirables, read anyone other than a leftist extremist, continues to plague the world of open source software. The NixOS Linux project recently enacted their self-proclaimed purge of people who they labeled as Nazis, but who were in fact simply not leftists. The open source Linux distribution mass banned and labeled as, this still drives me crazy that they did this, rotten flesh, anyone who failed to enthusiastically wave the LGBT flag. Python, Elementary, GNOME, and more have all been committing mass bannings of those who they view as having the politically wrong ideas. Just massive, massive censorship and banning and ostracizing campaigns throughout all of open source. And now Godot, the extremely popular open source video game development engine, has succumbed to this disease. All right, let's talk about this cleansing. Over the past 2 days, a huge number of Godot users, developers, and even financial supporters have been banned for suggesting that Godot, a piece of software, should be focused on software instead of politics. This was in response to a post on the official Godot X account stating, quote, "Apparently game engines are woke now? Well then, we won't complain. Rainbow flag emoji. Show us your woke oat games below." You see what they did there? They combined the words woke and Godot together to make woko or woke goat, or however you're supposed to say that. To which many people replied with things like, "Can you focus on fixing and supporting bitmap fonts to properly import into your game engine first instead of doing this sort of thing? It's delaying my project," and blah, 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 right? Lots and lots of comments along those lines. From that point forward, the bannings appeared to occur quickly and in large numbers, accompanied by scores of hidden replies and comments on various platforms. Lots and lots and lots of censorship. You can see some of the screenshots there. If you're listening to the audio podcast, go check out the article. It's free for everyone to read over at lunduke.locals.com. These bannings have occurred, and this is crazy, across every single platform where Godot operates, including X, their Discord chat server, and even GitHub. Yeah, their source control repository. Here's some screenshots of people blocked from using the Godot source control repository. Your ability to open an issue in this repository is currently blocked. If you feel this is an error, please contact the repository's owner. So developers are being banned from the Godot source code repository and even just being blocked from just opening bug reports and responding to bug reports or submitting change requests, anything. For the crime of either having the wrong political ideas or for suggesting that Godot should focus on software. And here's the even crazier. Though this has occurred, those bannings have occurred, even if those statements were made on a personal account on different online platforms. People seem to be getting banned from multiple platforms for saying something such as on their personal X account. So, developers are being banned from the Godot source code repository on GitHub. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. The mass bannings have been issued for offenses even as simple as literally quoting the creator of Godot. The creator of Godot said in a tweet, in an X post, right as all this was starting, quote, "I deeply believe that any political discussion that puts labels to a group of people is one that should not have started." Okay, so that's what the creator of Godot posted. After Godot posted the wokeout post that we just talked about, the apparently game engines are woke now, well then we won't complain, rainbow emoji, someone posted that quote. That's it, just in quotes, like they were quoting the creator of Godot. That person was promptly blocked by Godot. This is just, it's constant. I have no idea at this point how many people have been blocked or banned. I mean, it's been huge numbers. It's just been massive numbers. I've been getting email reports of this all day long. I've been seeing reports of this online all day long, with just more and more people having this happen to them. In a particularly peculiar move, a titanium level financial supporter of Godot, meaning someone who contributes $100 a month to Godot, was blocked during the mass banning campaign. This is crazy. This person said, quote, "I have been blocked. Guess what? I'm a titanium level backer for the Godot fund. Guess what my next move is?" Oh boy. And again, if you go to the Godot website, their name is right there listed as one of the major financial supporters of the project. One Godot fan and a vocal supporter of the bannings, because while there's been big backlash all over the place to this, obviously, there are plenty of people who absolutely love these sorts of purges and cleanses. They get really just whipped up into just an almost insane frenzy about it. One Godot fan and a vocal supporter of the bannings positively referred to these actions as a cleansing. Quote, "There's so many hidden replies to this, I can't even block them all." They're talking about how many hidden replies were in there, and that they wanted to personally block all the people that Godot was blocking. Utter respect to Godot for cleansing the community, including the most inclusive people, and making the rest of them seethe. Or, sorry, cleansing the community to include the most inclusive people and making the rest of them seed. Basically, great. If they don't buy into diversity and inclusion, ban them and make them seethe. And that's a wonderful cleansing. Awful. Awful. I mean, so this mass cleansing across all official Godot platforms that I'm aware of appears to be spearheaded by an individual named Nat, who describes herself, and her pronouns are listed everywhere as she/they, as working in community and communications with Godot. She also describes herself as, quote, "obnoxiously queer rainbow flag." That's the person. After this mass cleansing was started, the creator of Godot replied to questions regarding the bannings by stating, quote, "If you behave properly, this is the creator of Godot now. This is the man in charge. If you behave properly, you should not be banned, no matter what your political bias is. Nobody has been instructed to ban people for who they follow or what they post in public." Okay, he continues. He followed by saying, "Sure, if you go and register in the forums, and in your bio, you write that your gender is attack helicopter." It's always been one of my favorite. "Or if you make there any harassment or discrimination, that will be an instant ban." Okay, all right. That's his statement. That's his statement in full, basically. As the bannings continued, fast and furious, I mean, they just kept coming. Another Godot moderator who goes by the name of Enacts, like Xanax, but like with an extra N or something. I don't know. I'm not sure what that is. Posted the following to the Godot Discord server in response to people questioning the reasons and motives behind the mass bans. Before I scroll down, I need to make this very clear. This is a warning. The Lunduke Journal likes to keep things very PG and very family friendly. The quotes below are extremely vulgar. I mean, extremely. And I want to be very clear. These are representatives of Godot, official people in power, people who moderate other people. These are the people who make sure that people are behaving nicely within Godot. These are the moderators. These are the individuals who run the community side of Godot. And the language is off the charts obscene. The Lunduke Journal is reproducing screenshots of them as they were originally posted for the sake of accuracy. So if you are reading the article or watching the video version, you will see a lot of swear words. I am not going to read those swear words. I'm going to beep myself out because I'm not as vulgar and obscene as the official representatives of Godot. I'm just not going to stoop to that. Quote, "You have no right of speech here," referring to Godot official platforms, "because I consider your speech to be toxic vomit," referring to anyone who questions the bans happening or suggesting that Godot focus on software. They are said that their speech is toxic vomit. This person continues, "If you think inviting queer people to share their games is politics, you are a toxic piece of beep, an evil human, and I want you to feel disrespected and to beep off as fast as you can." Well, that's pleasant. Toxic piece of that's what you are. If you suggest that software should focus on software, you are a toxic piece of beep. It continued. I'm gonna there's a whole lot of it here. Go check the article if you want to read all of the awful quote, but I'm just going to pull out a few quotes here. You can read it for yourself if you want to verify that I'm not taking anything out of context here. I'm just going to distill down a few of the quotes because there's just so much to sift through. So, referring specifically to those individuals who were banned by Godot, the Godot moderator stated, quote, "They are the filth of humanity, and banning them is a kindness to everyone." The Godot moderator continued by referencing that Godot tweet that we talked about at the very beginning, which said, apparently game engines are woke now. Well, then we won't complain, little rainbow flag emoji or whatnot with the little woke oat, whatever hashtag, right? So by referencing that, this individual, this moderator, this official representative of Godot said, "For me, the only problem of that tweet is that it doesn't happen every day. So more of those imbeciles can be banned. They should be doing these tweets every 30 minutes, and anyone who has a problem with them can beep off to oblivion and then beep off some more. And anyone having a slight issue with it here can beep off too." Ooh. So these are the Godot community, communications, and moderation officials. So community, communications, and moderation. It's pretty moderate. They're certainly being very clear about what their intentions are, what their feelings are, what their actions are, even somewhat the motives. There's not a lot of mincing words here. They are the filth of humanity. They can beep off to oblivion. They want to ban more people. They want to ban people every day. They want to ban more of people. Basically, anyone who's centrist, right-leaning, just not extremely left. They want you to beep off to oblivion. So obviously, the Lunduke Journal reached out to the creator of Godot. This was obvious. We had to. As well as the Godot Foundation. The Godot Foundation, I mean, they make money. They have people working on this full time, right? This is a real foundation. This is what they do. The creator of Go has not responded. However, the Godot Foundation did respond, and I'm going to read to you the entire response from their board member now, because in the interest of full transparency. "Hi, Brian. We intend to..." My name's Brian, by the way. I know I'm Lunduke, but my first name's Brian. "We intend to make an official statement on Monday. We do have and enforce a code of conduct." He then provides the link for his code of conduct. on our community channels. Appeals for bans can be made to the Code of Conduct team email address. And then he gives the Code of Conduct team email address. Best, Clay John, board member. That's it. That's the whole thing. Now, interestingly, Godot's team certainly seems to be in clear violation of their own code of conduct, because he didn't send me a whole lot of information other than that they intend to make an official statement, but they have not yet. I have asked what that statement might be, what might be in that statement. They've not responded. They have. I don't know. I have no idea what the state of that is. So I went looking at the code of conduct, right? Because let's take a look at this. Well, the code of conduct states the two following bullet points. Number 1, aggressive or offensive behavior is not acceptable. Okay. Well, they're clearly the Godot moderation, communication, and community people are all very much in violation of that to such an extreme degree, it is almost comical. The second bullet point, you will be excluded from participating in the community if you insult, demean, harass, intentionally make others uncomfortable by any means, or participate in any other hateful conduct, either publicly or privately. Again, the Godot team themselves do this to a ridiculous degree, and they're using these words to ban people who are saying things like, I would prefer you focus on software instead of politics. Yeah. Otherwise, other than the statement I've read to you, Godot declined to answer any questions or provide any indication of what the contents of any future statement might actually be. When or if there are additional comments from Godot, the Lunduke Journal will publish them in full. I want to hear all sides to this. It's worth noting, as of the time of me recording this, as of the time of me publishing this article, all known bans remained in place. No ban has been lifted. Even more than 24 hours after the creator of Godot responded to notifications of the bans, which would suggest, he's all powerful, he's the creator of the darn thing. And the people who were banned for saying things like, let's focus on software, okay? Or I would prefer focusing on software, or how about bugs instead of politics, or things like that. Those people got banned and harassed and called horrible names and told to F off into oblivion. I mean, intense levels of harassment. And those bans all, to my knowledge, remain in place. None, as far as I know, have been lifted. And I've heard from a lot of people. That would suggest, in the absence of any other information, that Godot management supports these cleansings, as some people are calling it. This is horrific. This is horrible. This is absolutely awful. I want to hear what Godot has to say. They clearly are going to make a statement. They need to make a statement. They said they intend to make a statement tomorrow. I couldn't hold off publishing what we had so far. If I need to follow it up with an additional article, an additional show tomorrow, I absolutely will. And I am very curious what sort of statement that might be. If they were going to come out and say, gosh, this was just one or two people and they just run amok. Well, the facts would suggest otherwise at this point. If they come out and say that, but don't give us a list of the names of the individuals who did it, and that those people have all been banned from the project permanently, and that all the people who were banned by them have been unbanned with an apology, unless that happens, then I wouldn't take it at face value. I won't take it at face value at that point, because at this point, none of those bans have been lifted. If over the weekend people were getting banned and then unbanned and then banned and then unbanned, like there was some sort of internal power struggle going on, okay, maybe, like maybe you could present me some sort of a case with a couple of people were just going rogue. But after spending a little time looking into the past actions and statements of people from within Godot, these bannings and these statements, toxic pieces of beep and the filth of humanity when referring to anyone who's not extreme left wokeists, that's kind of in line with the past actions of many individuals, including moderators and community managers and whatnot from Godot over the last couple of years. It's just that this is a much bigger event. Past actions seem to have been more isolated incidents. There are reports of one person here or there being banned from participating in the Godot project in one way or another because of such claims. But they haven't been in bulk. Now they're happening in mass bulk. The phrase cleansing really does work here, and I find it particularly interesting that so often these extreme leftists, these extreme, and by the way, if you're just a bit left of center, I'm not including you in this. But I mean, these are extreme leftists from like NixOS talking about the purge, right? That was their word. They affectionately, lovingly referred to the purge of people. They didn't want people to be around, so they wanted to purge them in bulk. Now we're hearing people lovingly, affectionately referring to a cleansing. This is a cleansing of undesirables, of filth, of the filth of humanity. This makes me really uncomfortable. In about a million different ways. This is not cool. This is real bad. This is dark, sick, twisted stuff. And it's so easy to see how horrific this is, to draw the parallels between this and so many other things that have occurred throughout history, both recent and not so recent, that it's simple. If you're management, if you're the creator, if you're the board of directors over a foundation where people are doing this and saying these things and committing purges and cleanses, it's so easy to come out and say, whoa, whoever did that was crazy. This is evil, awful, and disgusting. Those responsible have been sacked. In fact, anyone who appointed them has also been sacked. And this is not us. We would never commit purges and cleanses of people because we disagree with them or we think they're filth. No, it's so easy to come out and make that statement. It takes minutes. As a board, as an executive, you see that and you go, nope, fired, and all of you have your access revoked. You're out of here. 10 minutes later, you have a 2-line statement that's OMG, that's the grossest thing ever. My organization does not represent my organization, and they're gone. So easy. Take a couple hours to do it and craft something really formal and nice, some sort of nice statement, but that's a couple of hours. A day? Okay. Now it's getting weird. 2 days go by? Okay, now it's getting real weird that you refuse to even make a statement. And even when journalists talk to you and you respond to them, you're just cagey about it. You're like, well, we have a code of conduct. Oh my word. Oh my word. That suggests to me that the leadership of this organization is 100% on board here. That's what that suggests to me. Now we'll see. We'll see what the statement is tomorrow. I mean, hey, maybe they come up with a statement tomorrow where it all makes sense. And it fixes everything and unbans everyone and apologizes to everyone and makes it right and makes this delay that's happened make some sort of sense. I can't imagine what that is. I can't. I'm trying to keep an open mind because I always try to keep an open mind about these sorts of things. But the reality is, this is real nasty stuff. And it's a big bummer because I'm going to be straight with you. I am a fan of Godot. The Godot open source game engine is rad. It builds on a huge number of operating systems and targets an even bigger number of operating systems for building not just games, but you can build great applications in it. It is an incredibly slick system. It's impressive and awesome and beneficial. There's good stuff that Godot brings to the table for the video game industry, for the open source world of software, for Linux, for all of it. Godot is neat. I would like to see Godot succeed. So when I publish this, when I talk about these things, it makes me kind of unhappy. But I have to be honest. This is awful. So here we go. It is the evening of Sunday, September 29th. On Monday, September 30th, Godot will be issuing a statement according to them. They said they intend to issue a statement. Why they have not done it already, why they have not even made a hint of what that statement might be, why they refuse to say what that statement might be, why they refuse to lift the bans of people, why they refuse to stop these crazy, unhinged, truly psychopathic people from continuing to label people as the filth of humanity and toxic pieces of beep and all sorts of just crazy stuff. Why they haven't been stopped or revoked of their moderation privileges or just banned from the community, it confuses me. It makes me believe that whatever statement they're going to make, it's not going to be great. It's not going to be a good one. We're not going to love it. We're not gonna. No, at best, it's going to make me mad because it's going to try to placate me without fixing anything. At worst, it's going to go all in. It's going to be somewhere in that range. Watch. Mark my words. I want to thank all of the supporters of the Lunduke Journal who have allowed me to cover all of these different topics with NixOS and Python and GNOME and Asahi and Elementary and OpenSUSE and Red Hat and IBM and Microsoft and all of these companies who have been highly discriminatory, who have been highly woke and discriminating against anyone who's not. And you've allowed me to cover all of these topics, all of these stories that no other major tech publication will even touch. None of them. Every now and then, if I push hard enough, if I make a big enough wave, and man, some of these stories have made some noise, a few other tech publications will be forced to at least acknowledge the story. But man, will they downplay it and try and bury it as fast as they can and move on. Not the Lunduke Journal. These are big stories. These are big stories that impact not just individuals' lives directly and in significant ways, but they impact the entire software, video game, open source, etc., computer industries in massive ways. And I'm going to continue covering them, and I can do that because no advertiser can yoink my funding. I am not cancelable. I exist on multiple platforms, primarily on Locals, which, man, they've got my back. Lunduke.locals.com. You want my shows, you want my articles, you want them never censored, and they have my back every which way from Sunday. You go over to Lunduke.locals.com. And all of the subscribers to the Lunduke Journal have made it so I don't need to take a single penny. I can operate full-time, working on these stories, investigating these stories, holding their feet to the fire without taking a dime from IBM or Microsoft or Amazon or Oracle or VMware or any of them. And that's all thanks to you. So I couldn't do this without you. Go to Lunduke.com or Lunduke.locals.com. Grab a subscription if you don't have one already. Those of you who already do, you're amazing. I love you. You're great. You are absolutely great. You are not the filth of humanity or toxic pieces of beep. You are neither of those things. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerds and nerdettes across the inner tubes, I do declare, end broadcast.